Hey everybody, it's Carm here. I'm coming to you on an early Monday afternoon. Yeah, back inside for this one. It's a little damp outside. You know, it's nice and cool, but yeah, a little too damp to be out in the yard for this one. So yeah, and you'll excuse my fairly windblown appearance. I was out doing some errands, so yeah, still I just got back in, and felt like coming on and just doing a fairly quick video, adding to the obscure artist thread that's been going around lately in different variations. It's been a really lot of fun to lot of fun to watch, and like the last one I showed a few weeks back. I mean, it's relative, I guess, you know, as to what's obscure versus what's more common. So, to the best of my knowledge, this album it's a fairly obscure album on a not so obscure label, and that is Lask by an artist named Ulrich Lask. Who could resist a cover like this on a label that you wouldn't normally expect this from? None other than ACM. Yeah, I read about this. I actually didn't have much information, but you know, learned of it through the ECM website sometime within the last year. You know, one evening I was just kind of looking through the back catalog, and came across this, which I'd never heard of. You know, I had no idea about it. It's from 1982 and recorded in 81. It has Ulrich P. Lask on alto saxophone and synthesizer, Meinolf Balschulte on drums, and Maggie Nichols on voice. You see the various artists here, and I kind of like the cover. The music is atypical of what you would normally associate with ECM. Kind of like I showed the Epidemics album a few videos back, and similar to that, it has kind of a new wave synth pop feel to it. Although this has many more stylistic layers and has a certain sardonic humor to it, which is really, you know, very playful and kind of, you know, it has a dark. Oh, your visitor, Rocky Bub. I know Gary's been waiting to see the kids in a video. So here's one of them. And yeah, it's definitely much different. There's the way in which the instruments are approached are interesting too. You know, the synthesizer and the drums have that kind of patented, again, kind of a, you know, what you would have with synth pop or new wave. But the saxophone is used in kind of a rhythmic, almost like a counterpoint to the lead vocal. And what she does on here is really interesting, with her voice kind of. At times she's singing the lyric straight, and other times it's kind of talking the lyric, or I guess I don't know if it's called meltdown or something. And it kind of lends a slightly lounge, maybe even cabaret feel to it, just a little bit here and there, but just a lot of fun. There's a particular piece on here called Kidnapped, in which she kind of highlights a scenario of, you know, being kidnapped and finding herself in a recording studio, singing, you know, this weird newfangled music. So kind of a play on what may have really been happening. But yeah, just a really interesting mix. At times it gets a little noisy and raucous, and you know, some of the stuff, the interplay between her voice and the saxophone is really fascinating. At one point they do this call and response with like a staccato. I think it's called double tonguing on the saxophone. And she does it incredible with her voice, you know, that staccato approach. There's almost times you can't tell who's playing what. I mean, her voice, the timbre, it gets so close to it. It's really, you know, it's really fascinating. But yeah, just again, just an album that you wouldn't normally associate with the label. And they did a lot of interesting things in the '80s, you know, along different lines, like Everyman Band, like David Torn. You know, that was different for the label. Epidemics, this, and some other things. So yes, this is you know, definitely atypical for the label, and yeah, it was really fun you know, coming across this and finally getting it. Found it at a fairly reasonable price. I think it's the only ECM on vinyl that I've ever actually bought online. Everything else over the years I found in the shops. But yeah, I'd recommend, if you see this. If you want to hear another side to the label that you definitely wouldn't normally hear, this would definitely be recommended. And yeah, just some neat stuff. I gave it another listen earlier, and it's just, yeah, it's one of those things that each time you hear it, you'll hear little things that'll, kind of in a different way. Yeah, just the whole sensibility is just different. But yeah, so yeah, again, I'm not sure how obscure this is overall, but I think for the label, it's definitely one of ECM's lesser known, as far as I've known over the years, and yeah, just another little fun incongruity in the catalog, I guess. So, well, yeah, just wanted to come on real quick and show that. And I've had a little more time recently for catching up on listening to vinyl and everything else lately. So I'll see how it goes later in the week, and I'll try to come back with another one, going a little more in depth to some of the recent listens. So yeah, until then, for Rocky and I hope you're all well, and until next time, peace, love, and joy.